Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Tuesday, October 31st. It is Halloween. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have all the various social medias that you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. Most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you would like. I also have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be linked on my blog, which is linked down below if you are on YouTube, or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. I also am a knitting pattern tech editor. If you are interested, or yourself, or if you know of someone who needs a technical editor for any upcoming knitting patterns, please feel free to send me a message, or you can also check out the Graceful Edits tab, which is available on my blog as well. I'd love to start a chat with you or your friend about how we can work together. I would love that. I like my hat. It's very cute. I got it from Amazon. It's very inexpensive. It is also very warm. And we'll see how long it lasts, but I thought it would be cute for today since it is Halloween when I'm recording this. I know it won't be Halloween when you all are watching this. Obviously, it'll be November 1st, but that's okay. It is what it is. So, we have so much to talk about. We have Rhinebeck stuff to talk about. We have Cake Palooza stuff to talk about, and we have Woolen Folk stuff to talk about. And goodness gracious, there's so much to talk about in general. So without further ado, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, whatever it may be, hopefully I am helping you accomplish some unpleasant task if you are doing that, like folding laundry. In my case, that is not my favorite. Or maybe you're just relaxing. Whatever it may be, I hope it is bringing you joy. And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. It is a little toasty with my hat on, and my sweater, and my hair. My hair can be very warm, but the vibes today, everyone, we have the vibes. So where do we begin? I don't know. First, we need to analyze how long we're going to keep this hat on. It is also going to be falling in my face, so that is also a problem, but that's okay. Again, the vibes. Anything for the vibes. We have so much to talk about. I have a pile of Rhinebeck stuff over here that obviously you can't see, but I can see, and it's quite a lot to talk about. I have whips over here. I have new cast-ons. I have socks. I have old whips. New cast-ons that have to do with whole Rhinebeck purchases that technically weren't at Rhinebeck, but we're going to use that as a general term for the whole weekend. I will try to be a little bit more clear as to which event I'm talking about. Yeah, so we just have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Is it this hat? I don't know. It keeps falling down. It's slightly too big. Like, this is when it's like fully fitting on my head. And it just wants to slide down. So if I do it back here, which is how I would like it to be, it just falls down slightly. So, oh well. I'm gonna keep on playing with this hat, and we'll reconvene in just a hot second. Also, we'll see how the hat holds. Also, the sweater that I'm wearing is the Mullet Over Pullover by Tiff Nealon. I test knit this for her earlier this year. I think, was it earlier this year? Late last year? I don't remember. I think it was this year. It's getting to that time of the year where you are thinking back on all the things that you've done in the year, and you're like, when did I do this? I actually don't remember when exactly. I think it was this year. Pretty sure it was this year. Yeah, pretty sure. Just a bunch of scraps, bunch of leftover bits and pieces. I love it. It's been cold here, so cold for us, and by other people's standards, I do believe, which means it's really cold for us, which is very exciting, and rainy, and I love it, and we're going to embrace it while we have it. We've got more warm weather coming this coming weekend, which is only mildly irritating, but that's okay. We will just deal with it. Shall we go over, I don't want to make this too long because this could have the potential to be very long. So we'll go through my whips, and then we will kind of do a speed round almost with the whole Rhinebeck weekend purchases. But let's start with whips first, and then if you're not interested in that, of the haul of everything, then that's totally fine. So first of all, let's go with our whips. I'm gonna move these little guys over here because they belong with the haul. Let's do some sockies first, everybody. I have one finished sock. This is the pattern by Amanda of Little Bitty Delights. I'm also using one of her Progress Keepers, which is very on brand for this sock. The pattern is called Luke's Hotcakes, which is a Gilmore Girls themed pattern, and I have this little Progress Keeper from her as well that is also Luke Diners themed, which fits very well. This yarn is Turtle Pearl Yarns in the pumpkin spice colorway. It was a sock set that came with a little mini, which is why my heel, toes, and cuffs are the teal color. I don't remember, I think I was like, I'm pretty sure it was past here. Sorry. I'm pretty sure that like when I landed at LaGuardia for our Rhinebeck weekend, I was here, and then I had time in the airport, made a friend sitting and waiting for my parents' flight to come in. It was very wonderful and very spontaneous. And then by the time I was flying home, I was literally to the point where I couldn't fit the toe on my 9-inch anymore, and didn't have access or easy access to my DPNs. They were tucked away in my carry-on, and I couldn't reach them with the squishedness of the plane. So that's okay. I finished it when I got home, but I do have a finished one sock. And I didn't wait too long before casting on my second one, which is really good. I actually cast this on this past Friday because we were going to see a football game with some of my in-laws, and I knew that I wanted to have a little bit of like travel knitting and football stadium knitting, tailgating knitting, and this would be very easy. I am super confident in this lace pattern now. I do not need to look at it. I didn't really need to look at it shortly after learning it, but if you have seen, what am I trying to say? In the past, I have really struggled with feather and fan, which is what this is. This little lace portion right here. It has no problem with the pattern. It is no problem with any of the patterns that I've done that contain feather and fan. It is truly because I cannot pay attention. And I've only messed up on both these socks maybe like twice, which for me is huge. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. This is what I got done at the football game, which is less than I expected, but still pretty decent for like not having a sock when I went into the football game. I did have the ribbing though, so I did knit all of this. during that time. It was very hot and humid. It was not a fun time to be knitting, but I really wanted to be doing something with my hands and not just sit there. So we powered through. You know, you make it work. But it was a fun time. So these are my Luke's Hot Cakes socks. What am I trying to say? Luke's Hot Cakes socks that I'm loving, and would love to have these done for November, which I realize is tomorrow or today when you're watching this, or maybe not whenever you're watching this, I don't know. But I would like to have these for November and specifically Thanksgiving, because that would be really nice. This is living in this very autumnal bag that I got recently from Hand Stitch Life. Spontaneous Etsy purchase, but we do love that. We're supporting makers. It's all good. We love it. Yes. Okay. Second sock that I've been working on that I took with me to the Rhinebeck weekend is complete. I completely messed this up, and I know that it doesn't look like it, but I definitely did, and I didn't realize it until I was literally finishing my toe, or even actually while I was trying to figure out what the poop I was doing with my afterthought heel, and I realized that I had done this sock completely wrong. And by wrong, I mean the dots are wrong. Looks super cute, works fine as a sock. Technically, as a sock that I can wear, it's perfect. It's great. It's not my favorite fit, which was a whole ordeal. I did tell you all that I was going to be doing a heel flap and gusset. And then I realized that because of the way that this color work is, that would be really difficult and kind of a pain in the butt to do. So at that point, when I decided to do the afterthought heel, I had already completed the entire heel flap and heel turn and a little bit of the gusset. It was very, very frustrating. I didn't think about that part. That's okay. It's fine. I will master and like hone in my afterthought heel process because I would like to be able to do it well. This is truly my first one, and it was not a fun experience, but I think it was only because it was my first one and I was irritated with this sock because I had figured out that I did it wrong. So this is a very cute pattern. It is so adorable. I love these socks so much. This is the Little Dots socks by Summerlee Knits. I love her patterns. They're great. Very well written. If you have been following her on Instagram, she was hosting a spooky sock knit along through the month of October to knit a pair of these Little Dot socks. I got one done, so I got halfway done, which I think is pretty good for me. Not being a huge sock knitter for most of this year, I knew what I was doing, but the socks are supposed to be staggered, or the dots are supposed to be staggered. They are not supposed to be on top of each other in lines. They are supposed to be off-centered. Which, when I discovered that, I was so irritated with myself. I was like, are you for real? You thought you knew what you were doing and you just like went ahead with it and thought that it was all fine and didn't even think to check the pattern? No, I didn't. Why, I don't know. They're still cute. I mean, it's still a great sock. But it's not what I had intended, which is irritating to me. And it doesn't fit quite right. It fits fine, but it doesn't fit like a heel flap and gusset, which is what I'm really used to. But again, I'm gonna hone in on my afterthought heel because I really do love colorwork socks. I do I think I'm gonna block these actually. I don't normally block my socks. I'm pretty happy with how they fit when I'm finished with them, but it's got color work and someone did their color work a little too tight. That was a long song. Thanks for sticking with me through that. I didn't know where that was going. Still fits fine. Not how I would love it to. I will finish the second one because I want these socks. And I love them. I love the process of knitting them. Like, I knit most of the foot on my flight home from New York. It was great. And again, I got to the toe and couldn't really finish it. I was like on fire with my knitting on my flight home. Normally I go through like phases of like not feeling great, of just being kind of motion sick and not really wanting to like do anything, just sit there and like not be ill. Or I'm watching something, I just need to take a break. I may sleep if I'm lucky. I'm not one of those people who can like sleep very well on planes. I can doze on planes pretty well, but I can't sleep on planes. We are not going to look too closely at my afterthought heel. There are definitely holes on either side. It was not a fun time. I was very irritated at myself already. It was just kind of a frustrating experience. It has nothing to do with the pattern. It was very, very clear. In addition to the instructions in the pattern, Summer has a like step-by-step with photos of how you do this on her blog, which is amazing. Which is great for a first-timer like me. And I know it will get better, and I know that we all have our first times, and it's really okay. But just as a reminder that even though you've been knitting for a long time, you still learn knitting things or crafting things. There's always new stuff to learn, and you don't do things perfectly the right time or the first time. It's okay. It's a learning experience, and it doesn't need to be perfect because it's a sock and it's gonna be in my shoe anyway, and it's all fine. It's all fine. I did have a very proud moment though. We're gonna move on from these socks. Little Dot Socks by Summerly Knits. Very quickly. Hedgehog Fibers is my dot color, and then Moon Tower Dye Works, Moon Tower Fiber is, oh, I had ball band. Moon Tower Dye Works, I was right the first time, is the brown. So, I wore my hand knit socks while I was traveling to New York, and then I wore hand knit socks the first day of our like crafty weekend. It was great, and I wore them in my like little Chelsea boots, and it was perfect, and I felt so fancy with my hand knit socks. Oh my goodness. It was a very nice feeling. Like, I mean, that's why we knit socks, right? So we can wear them. You don't save the nice things, you use the nice things, you use the handmade things. Because you made them. And they're just going to sit around if you don't use them. Also, what I brought with me to the Yarny weekend was my rain or shine shawl, and I got a decent amount of progress. I'm pretty proud of myself. This was not my like constant working on project, and I did work on this on the flight to New York. I definitely messed up my color order, and I actually like my new messed up color order. So I'm gonna have half a shawl that's like a little bit more muddled with the color order, and then one that's a little bit more cohesive, I guess. It's a smoother color progression. You may be able to see it. We'll see. I feel like it's pretty obvious. It may actually not be that obvious, but this is my Rain or Shine shawl by Stephen West. I'm doing a smaller version of my own making. I halved the yardage requirement. I'm using Knitting for Olive mohair, and I love it. And I got from here, from the Progress Keeper, the Knitting is My Jam, which was a very kind gift from a friend, to where I am now. I believe that's how far I got. I feel like I got more. It had to have been more because, yeah, because I messed up the colors. So I think it was from actually down here. So I got a lot done. I'm pretty proud of myself. Love this. Would also love to have this done for Thanksgiving. And it's a pretty mindless knit at this point. It's one of those things that I have to, like, if I take time off from it, I need to check the pattern again to make sure I do the things in the right time, because I've definitely messed up, and you can definitely tell, but it's okay because, again, I'm not ripping out mohair. We're not doing that. We do not do that here unless we absolutely have to. It's a no-go from me, for sure, for sure. Okay, so next up, so we're gonna save my new cast on because that's also in a new bag. We've got 2 more whips. One of them is a sample, one of them is the mystery knit along. We'll go with the sample first. I am knitting a sample for Audrey of Conifer Collective, and this has been such a delightful experience. I love this yarn so much. It's like, I think because this base is just so soft and squishy, it's super tweedy, which I love with all my heart, and it's like gray with rainbows. You can't really go wrong with that. But here's what I have so far. I'm knitting a weekender. I am done with the body. And I know it doesn't really look like much. If you have knitted weekender, then you would know. Something just ran by. I bet that was like a stray cat. It's knit inside out, which is great. So you do a bunch of knitting, and then when you get to the fun part, you turn it inside out, and then you've got this beautiful, like, with the wrong side facing outward, and this slip stitch along the front and the back, which is really nice. But can we even with this yarn? Can we even? It's not really picking up quite as well on what I'm seeing on my camera, so hopefully it's picking up well on the computer, but, or whatever screen you may be watching this on. But the tweed, my friends, is just so perfect. It's perfect. And I am so excited to be knitting this for her. It is like, hold on. I'm getting a bunch of knitting questions from I think my mother. It was unclear who was texting me. Yes. Ooh. How beautiful. I love this. Okay. How exciting. She's, speaking of the weekender, my mom is about to make a weekender light, which is very exciting. That is so fun. It's in this beautiful Explorer Knits color in the velvet colorway, which is like this. Wow, that's gonna be gorgeous. Can we even? Getting live updates. We're gonna reply to this real quick. Hi Mom, I know you're watching this. This is gonna be so beautiful. Sorry. Needed to reply. This is very exciting. So, I'm gonna leave that open so I can see any responses that come through. But yeah, I'm just loving working on this. I love the weekender pattern. Like, this is my 3rd time making it. I made the light one before and using Heathered Handmaids, and then I got yarn as a Christmas gift several years ago to make the regular one with Lion Brand, and it was beautiful and one of my favorite things, and I color blocked it and I added thumb holes to the sleeves and it was just perfect. So I'm loving making this one for Audrey, and I'm thinking I need one of these for myself after I send this back to her. Because this yarn, I wish you could experience this, but it is just so beautiful. And in fact, you know what? You should experience it for yourself, because you should check out her shop or check out places that you can buy her yarn and see if they have the tweed DK, which, side note, I do realize that the Weekender is technically written for a worsted weight, but we had a discussion, we got gauge, and by we, I mean me, but Audrey and I did have a discussion about this, so I'm loving working on this. It has been truly a delight, and I'm excited to move forward with the next steps of this. I am sad to say goodbye to this like endless body knitting though. I just love, it was so nice. I was reaching for that more than my new cast on, honestly, and also my mystery knit along, just because I've been loving working on it, which is wonderful. I love that. No test knits on my needles. Shocker. Very nice. There's a lot of messages coming through. Okay, hello. This is in a group with my mom and my sister, so we're all chatting and reacting. Okay. But I just have it pulled open so I can see it, not constantly be looking at my watch. Anyway. Oh, the sun has come out. Hello. I don't want the sun to come out. I want the rain to stay. Don't give me sun. It is cloudy over there, so we'll just hope that the sun goes away over here. What is that line? The sunshine makes me sick or something? Isn't that from like Hocus Pocus or something? I've only seen Hocus Pocus once in my lifetime, which was last year, and I feel like it needs to be watched. It didn't make it in the October watch schedule, but maybe in November. I think that's the movie it's from. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. Where it's from. Anyway. Okay. What are we talking about? We're talking about knitting. Let's not get distracted. I'm going to show you my mystery knit along at this point, which I'm super behind. I just started Clue 2, so there's no spoilers here. If you have been avoiding spoilers, I don't know how you would have been able to avoid them at this point. For at least Clue 1 and Clue 2, or the updated Clue 1, I should say. This looks like really nothing. Woo! Because of how it is on my needles. This is we have another situation similar to last year where you knit one side and then you knit the other side, and so I currently have the other side still on my cable and I'm just working back and forth, which works fine for me. I am enjoying that, but I'm loving this. I did this triangle version for Clue 1, which is very hard to see, but you can see there's like, it's so hard to show. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there we go. So that's the center. I did finish Clue 1 right before meeting with my friends for our mystery knit along knitting group on Monday. I was late at night. I had to stop working on my Weekender, and finish Clue 1, finish like the last 4 rows that I had of Clue 1, because I did not want to show up to this group and everyone's like significantly farther than I am and I'm still struggling along with Clue 1. I made it. So I'm like barely into Clue 2. Last week I said I was going to do baubles. I decided no to baubles because when I got to the point where I would have added baubles, I was just, it's going to sound really dumb. I know it's not dumb. This is a very valid reason. I had had a really hard workout that morning. My energy levels were just really low. And so I was like, we don't have the energy for baubles today. We're just not gonna do it, and it's okay. And I know that I'm committing to like no baubles at all. At this point, by saying no baubles today, it's okay. But I feel really good about that decision because having seen the rest of the shawl and how it's going to turn out, which is just stunning, by the way. I'm so excited. I'm very inspired to finish it. Because there's so much texture and so much like really intense texture in a beautiful way, I didn't want to add even more texture that was unnecessary. And also I was tired, so my brain was just like, no baubles, it's okay, you don't need to bauble, it's fine. And I'm glad that I decided to do no baubles because I think if I had, I would really be slogging along in Clue 2. Granted, I'm like barely into Clue 2, but we're having a good time. We're having a good time not doing baubles. What are my yarns? Very neon. One color is very neon. The neon color is Undercover Otter. The speckled one is also Moon Tower Dye Works, which I've been holding on to for a long time. The purple is Life in the Long Grass, and then the blue is either Lamb String Yarns or Madeline Tosh. I honestly don't know. I have one skein from Madeline Tosh and one skein from Lamb String Yarns, and they are almost the exact same color. And they've both been floating around in my stash for so long that they don't no longer have tags. So, that is that. This was a stash busted shawl, which I'm very proud of, and I'm very happy with how it's turning out. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I think I'm really, really liking this process. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to moving forward. Looking forward to moving forward with it. Looking forward to making progress with it. How about that? We'll remove the word forward twice. It's also living in one of my beloved cat bags that was made for me by a very dear friend. And we've got a little orange guy right there. It's kind of blown up because the sun keeps coming out, but little orange guy. And all kitties, because we love all kitties here. All cats are welcome. Okay, so now let's talk about the whole Rhinebeck weekend, shall we? We've got so much to talk about. And I've got one whip that's in a new bag, new yarn, all this yarn. I've got so much yarn to show you all. I'm so excited. I've got bags to show you, yarn to show you, stitch markers to show you, all this stuff. And the whole experience. It was just such a wonderful experience overall. Where do we begin? I will also say that if you don't follow me on Instagram, you have missed out on, or you haven't missed out, but I did put together like all the pictures and videos that I got throughout the whole weekend onto my Instagram stories, which I then saved to highlights. There's a part 1 and part 2 on my profile. There's music, there's text, there's jokes, there's funny little graphics of all the fun things that we got up to, and I had so much fun doing that. Like, doing it that way kind of makes me think about the potential of a Vlogmas. What? Maybe, I don't know, but I am, like, I had so much fun doing that. I will say, before I got started, I was so overwhelmed, both in like a really positive way, but also kind of in a like trying to think about woolen folk way, which we'll get into in just a minute. So that was kind of a weird vibe, but once I got started, I just had so much fun. So if you liked any of those, if you replied to any of those, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed them. I had so much fun putting them together. And so yeah, we'll see what the upcoming holiday season holds for me in regards to that. I said I would never do a Vlogmas, but that's not technically vlogging. It's technically on Instagram, so does that still count? I don't know. Would you be interested in that? That's also the other thing. Like, am I just gonna do this and then start bombarding everybody's stories with my random stories? I keep pinching this and I don't really want it to like create a little, there we go. I'm doing my best to not touch it, but it is hard. It is hard because also I want to be able to see you. Also, my bangs look so nice today. Thanks, bangs. Love you. Anyway, so if you want like a more in-depth like details of what we did, I know I say that my bangs are really great and now there's like hair in my face. More of the details of what we got up to with my dad and my sister and my mom when we were not doing Yarny events. You should definitely go over to my Instagram and check out those 2 highlights. You can view that on iPads, iPhones, and computers, so though you can all platforms. Don't think it's viewable on a TV, but that doesn't mean that it's not. I need to figure out if I can actually download those and put them into the podcast, because that would be really nice. Things to think about. Maybe for next time. Or maybe in the middle of the week. I'm going to figure that out. But not today. That is not a today thing. Anyway, so... it was just such a wonderful experience. Truly, truly, except for woolen folk. Parts of woolen folk. The majority of woolen folk was not great. But there were parts of it that were really special. I don't want to completely write it off as like a terrible, horrible experience. For us, I should say. Like let's go in order, let's backtrack a little bit, and we'll get my words will be a little more organized. I do apologize. So first, we had Cake Palooza on Friday morning. It was wonderful. It was super rainy, but honestly, after the Woolen Folk experience, at the end of the day and after the whole weekend, we were like, we would rather be really wet and kind of cold and just dealing with rain than what we dealt with at Woolen Folk, honestly, which, I mean, it's just rain. It's okay. You bring an umbrella, you have a poncho, you have a raincoat, whatever. It's humid. All of our hair was just big, frizzy balls of adorableness because it's okay. It happens to everybody. And goodness knows my bangs were like curling up the ends. Perfect timing. You know, I plan to get these bangs and then I go to a place that is just so humid. Not to say that it's not humid here, because it definitely is, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more dry. But that's okay. My skin enjoyed it. It was totally fine. And it was rainy and it was cold, so we're not gonna complain. Not gonna complain. It was beautiful in the fall colors. I'm getting distracted. Cake Palooza was amazing. What did I get at Cake Palooza? How about let's go through that. Let's organize these things. This is Cake Palooza. That was Woolen Folk. This is Cake Palooza. This is Rhinebeck. This is Cake Palooza. Cake Palooza Rhinebeck. Woolen Folk. Rhinebeck, Womenfolk. Okay. Gotta organize these things. This is also a no, this is Womenfolk. This is Womenfolk. That's not. Okay. Cool. I feel more organized now. Instead of it just being in one massive pile. Okay. So, first of all, at all these events and in between events and just random restaurant places getting coffee, we met so many fun and incredible people that it's so special. Like, I can't even, it's such a big feeling that I don't know if I can put it into words, but like, it is just such a special thing to have in common with so many people that you wouldn't necessarily interact with. But if you see someone with like a knit or crochet or woven or whatever it may be, like an item on, and you're all there for the same reason, it's like instant connection. And especially when you're not at the event itself, because obviously then you're surrounded by even more of that, and like you're all doing that. But if you're in like a coffee shop, or if you're in a restaurant, or you're out wandering around and you're like, I know you're here for these events and it's so cool, I love whatever you're wearing, that's so amazing, tell me about it. I don't know who you are, but like, everyone becomes everyone's hype person, and everybody's just like, your sweater is just so amazing, or your shawl is just so beautiful. And we all have this connection of being creative, and I think that's really, truly beautiful. And we can all relate, and all of our different levels of experience and experiences of crafting and all that kind of stuff. It's just such a cool experience. So you have that, and then on top of that, I had such a fun time meeting viewers and giving you pins and getting hugs and saying hi, and I am just like so blessed by you. It just adds so much joy to my life, and that adding to the experience of what I just described of being connected to strangers, basically, getting to meet viewers it truly added so much to my Rhinebeck experience. So if I got to say hi to you, got to meet you, got to give you a pin, thank you so much. Like, that was so cool for me, and it was just so truly special. So thank you so much. Thank you. That was just amazing. So at Cakepalooza, we had the milk tier, which was the first tier. First time slot in the morning. It was wonderful that it was timed entries. That was really incredible. Met some amazing people in line that we were standing around, that we ended up kind of following around the various events, which was super fun. I wish I had gotten more pictures of that, but I did not. It was raining a decent amount at that point, and my mom and I sorry, I've got hair and getting text messages, and my foot's falling asleep. It was the first event of the day. My mom and I were just like, this is overwhelming and so exciting, and we don't really know what's going on, but we're so excited, and we're really just happy to be here. So I was a little flustered, didn't really take too many pictures or photos at that point. But once we got in, it was just so amazing. Just the way they had it set up, and yes, it was outside, and yes, it was raining, but it was like so well organized. It was really easy to like get around. There were some crowded areas, but it really wasn't that bad, and like there were places for you to go and just to kind of like, there are other places for you to shop, while the crowded areas like were crowded for a while and then cleared out, and then you could go in, and it was wonderful. Truly wonderful. How do we show off what I got? First of all, this was a priority for me. This is the Tuft Woolens Cider Donut Soap. And oh my goodness, I can't. It is such a good scent. She does have a, like a fir tree smell that's like so festive that I also really loved, but I really wanted the cider donut because I knew that was special. So Tuft Woolens, love it, which is great because I'm almost out of my other bar of sock soap. Love it. So that was a purchase. More purchases were from, we got to go into the Tanny Casey booth, and I got this very cute little keychain. It was so cool to see all of her stuff in person. I've seen it on Instagram for so long, and I've wanted to get some of her things for so long, but I know it's very hard to get, and I just like hadn't taken the time to make it a priority. But when we saw her booth, it was like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Got to meet Natalie of Nitty Natty while we were in that booth, which was very exciting. Took some pictures with her. She's so sweet. But I got this cat bag, and I know that from a distance it doesn't quite look like cats. It kind of looks like knit stitches actually if you hold it far back. That's fun. But they are cats. And obviously had to get this. There were some other cat prints, but I love this one in particular, especially since like I feel like the orange one really sticks out, which obviously for many reasons is very special to me. So I love this bag. I have not picked out what is going to go in here yet, but I love the inside because it's like this nice canvas and a nice little pull. So if you can get your hands on one of these bags, would highly recommend. She's so sweet. It was just such a fun time to be in her booth. Next up, I'm not doing this in the order that we got these in because I probably can't remember. But I got a skein. My mom and I both got skeins of the new Sport Nouveau base from La Bien-Aimée from the, I think it's Doylestown. Is it Doylestown? I'm pretty sure it's Doylestown. We're gonna check. We're gonna check so I make sure I get it right. Forever Yarn, Doylestown. It's in Doylestown. I knew that Doylestown was part of the name. Oh my goodness. Forever Yarn. They had a booth and they had so much La Bien-Aimée, and honestly I think that's maybe all they had. I don't know, but it was beautiful and they were doing such a good job selling it. Honestly, like just talking to everybody was just so much fun, and everyone was so nice and everyone was so happy, and it was just, we're all here to have a good time. So good. But they were really marketing their the yard really well. It was so hard to say no to buying it all, basically, because they had beautiful samples. But I've had this sweater in my queue ever since it came out. It's called Neon Snow by NCL Knits, and I've wanted to make this ever since it came out, and it's knit with this yarn, this new base in particular, and I knew that Forever Yarn from Doylestown would have kits basically, and I wanted to take a look and feel the base and feel how squishy and glorious it is. It was. So my mom and I both got the contrasting color because we did not want to, we needed to pace ourselves because it was the first event and we had 2 more events to go, and couldn't really, or didn't want to splurge on a full sweater's quantities worth of this right there, because we needed to again, pace ourselves. I'm getting so many text messages. This is like the most beautiful, I don't know if this will actually show up on camera and how beautiful and vibrant it is. The color is called Hella, and it's very neon peachy. There's a lot of oranges, there's a lot of pink undertones. It is truly incredible. The original has this as the contrasting color, and then the main color is kind of like a light lilac-y purple. And we decided that we could find the lilac-y purple from another place, maybe a more cost-effective yarn, and then get this color, which would be harder to find, and have this be like the special skein, which is honestly kind of what we did with some other yarns that we got, especially from Woolen Folk, of getting like yarn to be used for a contrasting color in a colorwork sweater or something like that. So, this is just so beautiful. And I will link the Neon Snow pattern in the show notes, so if you're interested. I am so excited. I am so excited. Yes. So, another purchase, which was so fun and very spontaneous, but turned out to be one of our favorite experiences, honestly. So we were, I don't know, I think it might have been, I had kind of made the rounds and we were trying to figure out where we wanted to start, and we weren't really sure. It was kind of overwhelming, but in a very good way, a very positive way. And at the start of like where everything was set up was the Beau Bolero's booth. And super familiar with her yarn. Seen it, obviously. I follow her on Instagram. It's just gorgeous, and but wasn't too familiar, so we just stopped in because it also had started raining really hard at that point, and we're just taking cover from the rain, and we ended up with her Rhinebeck color, like her weekend colorway, I should say. I believe it's called Rhapsody. This is on her Aurelia Cashmerino sock base, obviously with a little mini, but it is just so pretty. But yeah, she's just so sweet, and her husband was there just hanging out, and he was a delight too, and it was just so fun. And my mom got some really beautiful yarn. I think my mom just got a regular skein of this. I don't think she got the sock set, but I'm so excited to knit with this. There's just something about seeing yarn online on Instagram and knowing that it's beautiful yarn and knowing that it's like very special, but when you like get to interact with a person who makes those things and makes the yarn and like does all the work to make the business work, when you get to have these very one-on-one personal interactions with them, and like they're all just so nice, it makes it so much more special. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that comes from these types of events, is that you get to really interact with not just the yarn, but also the people who are behind the yarn. It's not just a business, it's also like a livelihood type thing. So that's pretty cool. We really enjoyed getting to hang out with her while it rained. It was a very happy accident. And I'm so excited to knit with this. I also love how vibrant this green mini skein is. She offered to switch it out for any of her other mini skeins that she had, but I love how vibrant that is compared to like the pinks and the oranges and the golds. Just gorgeous. Rhapsody from Beau Bolero's. So, and she's got some patterns, I do believe, available online. So next up we come to my cast on that it's also living in another new bag, basically. We stopped at, I got to meet a friend, Haley of Lock Knits was in the Moon and Yarn craft room booth, and so cute. Just the vibes were vibing so hard. It was amazing. It was just I can't even. But I got a bag that Haley has made, and I love it so much. There were cat bags, but I saw that this was like a pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie bag, and just too cute. Can't go wrong with pie. And then on the inside, you've got these very beautiful little flowers. A little sneak peek at what I'm about to show you. It was just so much fun to stop into the Moon and Yarn Craft Room booth and just hang out and say hi and make new friends and meet in real life and enjoy beautiful products. So that was very exciting. In this bag, everyone, I am so excited. This was like top priority, or one of the top priorities for Cake Palooza. I'm wondering if we're gonna have to split up this episode into different things. There's just so much to talk about. We may have to do that. So I also don't want to like edit a super long episode. We'll finish talking about this and then we'll decide. But at Cake Palooza was going to be Fashion School Dropout. And I've been a fan of her yarn for a pretty decent amount of time. I remember when she first started dyeing Kelly of Fashion School Dropout, and so excited that she's gonna have her own booth there. And so definitely wanted to like meet her and say hi and just fangirl over the yarn. But I also have been on this like need basically to knit with boucle yarn. Has been a priority of mine at the end of this year, and I knew she was gonna have some boucle, and I knew that other people would have boucle too, so I had some options to look at. But when I walked into Kelly's booth and I saw this color, all other thoughts of any other boucle went out the window. Which was saying a lot, because there were some beautiful boucles at so many other dyers, and honestly, if I, like, if possible, would have bought everything, but we have to have some self-control, you know. So I ended up with some skeins of Hello Mrs. Dunn. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. From Fashion School Dropout. It's just so pretty. I cannot even. So this is from her new collection that is based off of Daisy Jones and the Six, which if I'm being completely honest, I haven't read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I honestly am not a huge fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's just not my favorite, but I know that so many people love her, and I know they love her books. They love Daisy Jones and the Six. I know that the TV show has been a big hit. I know that the audiobook is really immersive experience. I don't really know a ton about Daisy Jones and the Six, but I do know that I love this color. And I want a sweater out of it. So everyone, I'm making a sweater out of this, and this was my first cast on with yarn from the Rhinebeck weekend. Ta-da! It does, clearly you can tell it's a sweater, right? Clearly a sweater. I am making the Very V-neck Raglan by Jessamade out of this boucle, and when I tell you it's the softest, squishiest thing in the world, it's the softest, squishiest thing in the world. I can't even. It has been such a joy, a true joy to knit, and this is fulfilling all my boucle dreams. I am just having such a wonderful time knitting this, and it's very hard to tell, but there's like a peachy pink in the base of the yarn, or like in the foundation colors, I guess. Like you can see the speckles of the gold and the black and the brown, and but there's also peach in there, which really, it doesn't pick up on camera very well, but it just adds so much to this colorway, because I feel like this type of colorway I've seen a lot of people do in very unique ways that's very beautiful, but I have not seen this colorway with pink, like a peachy pink added to it, which made it even more special. So Kelly did such a beautiful job with this. And I need more of her yarn. No. Not even done with my first project with her yarn, and I need more of her yarn. I know my mom got some of her mohair. She's just so sweet. Just so sweet. And yeah, I'm just really loving working on this. Very quickly, I am also knitting. I did put some stitch markers on here that are technically a Woolen Folk purchase, so we'll just briefly touch on that. But they're from Amy's Trinket Shop. There's a logo. But it came on a little set. I didn't use the one special one. Ooh. I set the camera up farther away today so you could get the full effect of my hat. Now it's really hard to reach to the camera. Oh my goodness. Okay. The things we do. So there's the cat. Whoopsies. I think it's just so cute. And the set that it was part of. Hello, we're really close to the camera. Are like little coffee beans. And my mom and I actually got matching sets. There you go. Oop, that's the back side. But you can tell it's like a little coffee bean. She got the same set, but the additional markers are slightly different. So we had intended on like splitting the additional ones and both have a little pink cat. But we forgot to do that before we both packed up our stuff to go home. So we decided, well, when we see each other at Thanksgiving, we'll switch around. But they were on the 5th floor. If you did not find them, if you were there and didn't know where they were on the 5th floor. That's a whole other discussion. I'm loving that so much. It's just such a joy to knit, and would also love this to be done for Thanksgiving. It's gonna be so snuggly, so snuggly. So that is all my Cake Palooza purchases and acquisitions, which is really wonderful and just so exciting. Then we're gonna move on to Woolen Folk. I'm gonna do a little bit better to go through quickly, or quicker, I should say. Okay, that belongs with these. Okay. Woolen Folk. I'm not going to go on too long about it because obviously everybody has said so much already, and as an attendee who it really didn't affect us as much as it affected other people, both attendees and especially the vendors. I don't want to go on too much about it, but if you're unaware, it's just a really bad situation. It was overly packed. The definitely not good situations. The accessibility was non-existent. The bathrooms were hidden away. The elevators were lacking. The stairs were a lot. Vendors got put outside when they had been promised to be put inside. Everyone was just treated very poorly. Also, like, just especially the vendors, they were treated so badly, which is so sad. So sad. So many other people who experienced more than I experienced have said and told their stories. So I would recommend you going and like finding out more about that from them if you haven't heard about it already. if you've been in the knitting or crafting yarn community online, I'm sure you've seen rumbles of it around. So very sad, very, very sad indeed. But it's been so nice to see the knitting and crafting community come together and just support these people and the vendors who suffered devastating losses because of this event. And it's been very special to see just, again, people lifting other people up and supporting each other. Even though they're technically competitors, they still support each other and advertise for each other and just like share each other's information. It's just so wonderful to see. So that was the thing. The positives of Woolen Folk, obviously we came away with some really beautiful yarn, and it was so nice to be able to support those people. Even in the moment, it was just like, oh my goodness, this is so overwhelming, but we really want this yarn and we really like these people, so we're gonna like power through, gotta make it happen. Again, got to meet some incredible viewers, just incredible people in general. It was just like, that part of it was amazing, just so incredible. The rest of it, not so much. But the people in the yarn was just really great. It was really, really wonderful. Made it very special, and I'm glad that that part was a positive experience and it wasn't like a complete wash, which is not a pun intended, because it was really truly like a washout. It was so rainy and so muddy, and there was just so much stuff everywhere outside. It was so sad. It's so sad. Oh my goodness, it's just overwhelming. So overwhelming. I don't know what to say. Let's go over what I got, or what we got. Let's see, this belongs with this. Okay. We got these amazing shopping bags from Yarnaceous Fibers, Fangirl Fibers, and the Pacific Knit Company, which they all had were in the same booth, which was very nice. They had such a wonderful setup, and everyone was just so nice and like pretty positive, all things considered. I know that like they were dealing with so much more than we could see and understood at the time, which now we do. Now we understand, but they were so nice, knowing what they were going through. It was wonderful to meet Jamie of Pacific Knit Company. I've test knit for her before. I've edited for her before. It was really nice to meet her, get this bag, which was wonderful, and then get this little kit from Fangirl Fibers. This is the Scream Queens Doodle Bundle in the DK weight. I have seen this knit up on Instagram all over the place, and I didn't know this was going to be there. And so I knew that this was a thing, and I knew that we were going to like see the dyer and be at the booth, but I wasn't sure if they were going to be there because I hadn't really seen a ton. And that's probably on me and my algorithm. Nothing to do with the amazing people from Fangirl Fibers. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is, I need this. I need this. It's such a nice base. I am so excited to knit with this. And then my mom and I also got the Rhinebeck Doodle card deck from Pacific Yarn Company. Pacific Knit Co. Sorry. And the cool thing about these, if you're unfamiliar, the way that Jamie has it set up is that you have these card decks of like basically a colorwork pattern, and you can mix and match in whatever you're making, whether that be a sock, whether it be the cowl that she's got patterns for in here, whether it be a hat, whatever it may be. My grandiose plans, everybody. This is not going to happen anytime soon necessarily, but it may. You never know. You never know. I am going to put this into a sweater, colorwork sweater, using this deck and maybe some other of her other ones, like the autumn one or the basic one, and make a Rhinebeck sweater, which technically, I mean, I could wear it for Rhinebeck at another point in time, but this would literally be the Rhinebeck doodle sweater. When is this happening? I don't know, but this is my intention to do this because I love these colors, and yes, I could do this as a cowl and I would love that very much. It would be beautiful, but I don't know. You will see. That's my intention, making a sweater out of the Rhinebeck doodle card deck. So all these things were in this amazing bag, which if you cannot read that, I don't know if you can read that, but it says, in my defense, I was left unsupervised and the yarn festival was open. Very valid. Very valid. Okay. Moving along quickly. Had to stop at Woolens and Nosh. Self-striping sock yarn, just truly amazing. I am so excited to be able to knit with her yarn now. This is the Half Past Nude colorway. Very neutral, kind of pinky browny, with a little bit of like green in there, like a gray green. Very excited. So this is a pair for me. I also did get a pair, or a skein for Socks for Sam. Because right before we left, but right before I left, he expressed to me that if I had, it was very sweet. He was like, if you have time, I would love a pair of hand knit socks from you, which is just very sweet of him. He was very kind about it. So I went knowing that we would be going to Woolens and Nosh, and picked out some yarn for him. But it is a secret, and I don't know if it'll be a Christmas present necessarily, but they will happen, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about the colors that I picked for him. Okay, so that's that. We also stopped at Silly Goose Yarns, which she was so sweet. And has incredible yarn. This is a skein of DK weight. And I love it so much. This is the Bands Off Our Bodies colorway, I believe. Very rosy, so many beautiful speckles. I am going to be doing the IRL shawl, I think, from Casey Knits, which is like a broken rib triangular shawl, and I'm very excited about this. That's the nice thing about Casey's patterns, is that they're just so easy to use with special yarn like this, and that's really wonderful. And Casey was there and I didn't get to see her, and I'm so sad. So sad. Just didn't work out, but there will be other events, I'm sure. We also went where on the 5th floor, where Amy's trinkets were located. Next to or close to or somewhere in the same room was Robin's Promise Yarn Company from Williamsburg, Virginia. Got these 2 skeins of yarn, and they will both be 2 different things. They will not be together, but they will both be colorwork items. I don't remember which one I got for it, but either one will work. I want to make the Allie's sweater light version so badly. So badly. And a friend of mine who's in this Mystery Knit Along Monday knitting group, she wore hers yesterday, and it was just so inspirational. It's like, I need to get on that. So I have this color, which is her event colorway, which is the New York State of Fall. It's so pretty. It is just so gorgeous. And then I also got a skein of Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And it's just such a beautiful, I hope it shows up well on at least the computer. It's not showing up super well on my camera, but hopefully it will turn out well. It's such a beautiful, like, pinky maroon. It's just so gorgeous. And she was so sweet. Again, not at the time, not understanding and not knowing everything that they had all been through at that point. And everyone was being so positive and so kind. It was just incredible. So getting to meet the dyer, and she was just so fun. And then we also got, these were her shopping bags. If you spend over a certain amount, and it's metallic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's rose gold and it's metallic, and I love it. And this is perfect promotion. If I saw this, I would be like, ooh, I want to see what type of business sells these types of bags, because I do love those bags. So yes, Robin's Promise. Let's see, I also did get a sticker from Silly Goose Yarns, the DK Weight, which is so cute. I'll put that back in here. See, the thing is, we gotta organize before talking about it and then putting it away nicely so it's not a big mess. Also, on my list of, like, oh, I also got this little sticker from Pacific Knit Co. She had these cute little stickers. She's got 3 of them that are kind of this vibe, and they're all doing different things, and they're so cute. I need to put it on my water bottle. Another priority for me, and I'm so glad that we came across her booth, because another problem was that there was no map. No idea where anybody was. It was so sad. And so it was really hard to find the people that you wanted to see. Basically, if you had a particular dyer that you wanted to see, all you knew was what building they were in, and the buildings, as far as I'm aware, were not labeled. So it was just kind of like, okay, I assume it's here. I don't know. I see these people and I know that they're on this list, so they must be here somewhere. I found Krista Jekyll, from doing research before going to Cakepalooza, or not Cakepalooza, Wool and Folk, but like vendors that we wanted to see, and I saw her bags and I was just like, oh, we have to go. Also, because I would really love to meet her. She seems so cool. And the first time we went through, we couldn't find her booth, and I was so sad. It was so sad. But thankfully, we did eventually find her booth, just because we were wandering around. And again, she and her booth helper were just so kind and so sweet and very positive, all things considered, that was going on. And so I got this little bag, which is just so cute, and the dots are hot pink, and they've got hot pink noses. And what's really cool about her bags is that she actually hand carves the stamps, and then hand stamps the bags after making the bags. It's got this very nice wax bottom, so many different colors, so many different types of bags. There's her little logo. And she was so sweet. And I saw these sheep bags in particular on her Instagram before the event, and I was like, oh, I don't know if we'll get a chance to get those bags, because I feel like they will sell out. But we showed up, and I got a bag. I was so excited. I love this bag so much. It makes me so happy. And I'm just so glad that we were able to find her booth, because that would have been very sad knowing everything and not being able to find her booth and in the end. So yeah, it was just, I'm so glad that it worked out that way. It was very, very chaotic, not in a good way. We have the chaotic good, you have the chaotic neutral, the chaotic whatever, and then you have chaotic evil. I don't know if it was evil necessarily, but it was definitely bad, evil, chaotic bad. Not great. Bad vibes. But last acquisition from Wool and Folk, and then I'm actually going to call it here. And we can go over actual Rhinebeck, New York sheep and wool stuff next time. But we did manage to make our way into the Wandering Flock, which was just so exciting. That was also on the list of wanting to check out, but when the doors opened and we got in, it was so packed. There was not even a remote possibility of making our way into that booth. It was so overwhelming. So many people. And like, that's not to say I'm so glad that Geraldine was doing well and her booth was filled with people wanting to buy her yarn. That's not what I'm upset about. I'm upset that it was just packed in general because of the way that it was run. That's the problem. If it was just people buying yarn, that's completely understandable. Not a problem. But yeah, everything else was just kind of a big mess. The lighting in that building, oh my goodness, it's so bad. It's just bad. We're not doing Wool and Folk ever again. I would be surprised if it is gonna make it after this year. I really don't think it should. It's really, unless it's run by someone else or another group of people or whatever, it just really needs to reevaluate things. I have 2 skeins of the Wandering Flock and I'm so excited. So excited. I love these 2 colors together. They bring me so much joy. They're different and the colors complement each other so well. We have Icy Lavender and Citrine. And I do believe actually one is a worsted weight and one is a DK weight, but I'm gonna make it work. And I'm gonna do a 2-toned Sophie scarf. I'm gonna do one of the bigger ones. And she had a sample of a Sophie scarf or Sophie shawl or something that was 2-toned, and it was just like, oh man, tell me no more. I would love to buy yarn to make 10 of these. Your base is incredible. It's so soft and squishy. And she was, the shopping bag for her was this canvas bag with her logo on the bottom, which is very cool. So it's another little project bag, and they were just so nice. That was at the end of the day too when we managed to get our way into that booth, and it was cleared out, and I'm glad that we found some stuff, so that was very exciting. So overall, that was Cakepalooza and Wool and Folk. Both were on Friday. Again, I'm not going to go on too much about Wool and Folk. Other people have had such terrible experiences, both attendees and vendors. It was just very overwhelming and very anxiety inducing and too crowded. Too crowded. To say the least, and put it in a nice way. But all we can do now is move forward and support the vendors that need the support that they didn't get from that event. So we do have some more yarn acquisitions coming that we got to support some of those vendors. So I'm very excited. I got a notification that one of them is out for delivery, which is very exciting. So I'll show that to you all next time, in addition to the New York Sheep and Wool acquisitions, because it's just so much, you know. But we will save that for next time, so we'll still have some yarny goodness to go over. But thank you all so much for being here with me. I know that this has been a longer episode. Thanks for dealing with my hat. I think it's pretty cute. Hope you've had a wonderful past couple weeks, that you can continue to have success with your crafty plans, whatever they may be. I have all the social medias, tech editing information. Please check out my Rhinebeck weekend highlights on my Instagram page if you want to find out more of the like little details that I didn't share here, but it's just fun little videos to watch. What else? I have crafty plans. We have things to work on, things to maybe finish. Who knows what will happen next time we chat. I keep getting hairs in my face. I think it's my bangs and the hat, and it's just kind of pushing these bits forward. Anyway, I need to go. This is a really long episode, and I do apologize, but I hope you had a good time. Hope you had a good time. Thank you so much. Again, if you were at any of those events and came and said hello to me, said hi to my mom, my sister, my dad, whatever, it was just so wonderful. Thank you so much. It brought so much joy to my heart, and it truly, again, added so much to the whole weekend experience, and it was so, so special getting to meet friends that I've had online for so long, to meet them in person, and it's just so truly incredible. Meet people that I've like interacted with, or not even really interacted with, but have just been fans of for forever, and getting to meet them in person. It was just so good, so good. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about this, and we need to cut this short. My battery is flashing. I need to go. Thank you so much for being here. You are wonderful. You are enough. I hope you are enjoying whatever type of weather you are having. If it's cold, I hope you're staying warm. If it's hot, I hope you're staying cold or cool. Hope you had a wonderful Halloween. If you did something fun. If not, if you just stayed home and did chilling at home, hope that was fun too. We're going to hand out some candy this evening, and I'm very excited. It is very cold. It will be very cold, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyway, I gotta go. Gotta go do some laundry. I also need to eat some lunch. I'm really hungry. Perfect timing. Okay. Thank you so much, and I will see you all next time with more yarn acquisitions to talk about, and more progress on projects and stuff, because that's what this podcast is about. I gotta go. Okay, bye.